There is another very powerful tax-free exemption called the small gifts annual exemption, which basically allows anyone to give anyone else €3,000 a year tax-free. And this can really be utilized early on to try to avoid eating into your children's or your grandchildren's capital acquisitions tax thresholds. The Zurich savings plan that I mentioned earlier, there is another variation of that whereby it's set up under a special tax act, and any of the contributions made into it can count towards this small gift exemption. The next slide I have here just shows how a plan like this can be utilized. So if you take Mary and John here, who have €50,000 that they want to pass on to their grandson Luke, who's currently 13 when he turns 18, to help with college costs and a car. As Luke is their grandson, he falls into Group B threshold, so he can only receive 32,500 tax-free under capital acquisitions tax rules, and therefore he would have to pay 33% tax on the balance, which would be a tax bill of about €5,775 for Luke. Now, what if instead Mary and John started to drip feed some of that money into an account like the Zurich Easy Access? They could pay €500 per month under the small gift exemption into this plan, which would be €6,000 per year. That's €3,000 from Mary and $3,000 from John. If it's earning a net interest rate, which I'd like to suggest is very doable, based on the performance of the funds I showed you earlier, in a very, very conservative estimation, after 5 years when Luke was 18, that plan will be worth €32,733. And because of all of the contributions were classed under the small gift exemption, Luke is now actually able to receive all of that €32,733 tax-free and still retain his full 32,500 under the threshold here. So this way, all of the €50,000 can be passed on tax-free, rather than, I suppose, Luke having to lose nearly €6,000 to tax. Again, if you're a parent on the call or a grandparent on the call, or someone who's looking to give money to your young relatives down the line, it is again about early planning and utilizing things like the small gift exemption and plans such as the Zurich Easy Access Saver to plan and reduce the tax down the line.